Everywhere you look in today's modern society, you will see either a vape being used or a cigarette being smoked. My name is Ashlyn Dennis. I am a sophomore at Jefferson College. And today we are going to be diving into the usage of nicotine. Nicotine is the most commonly used drug by teenagers these days. I put quotation marks because more often than not, when you think of nicotine, you don't think of it as a drug. Often nicotine used to be used by adults, but now the charts are showing more common than not, the teenagers are the ones using the nicotine. So in this first part of my speech, we are going to be diving into exactly how nicotine came into the picture. The first vape was prescribed to a man named Joseph Robinson. It was actually recommended to him by his doctor to get him to quit smoking cigarettes. Now, we don't for sure know if this was actually ever manufactured or if it was just drawn up. Now we are going to be talking about the different types of vapes these days. For often than not, you will see adults having the big ones called box mods. They are about yay big and about yay wide. But in teenagers, you will see ones called disposables. They are actually like this big. The reasons that disposables are more accessible to teenagers is because of the variety of flavors. When you think of a flavor like cotton candy or bubble gum, that's not made for adults that are trying to quit cigarettes. They are designed for teenagers that want that type of vape. So, the next thing we will be talking about is exactly how it became so popular. When it becoming popular, it is because more often than not, teenagers will see ads or their friends have it, or it's also in society labeled as cool. In schools, more often than not, if you do not have a vape, you are marked as a loser or called stuck up because all the cool kids vape, right? Wrong. So today, we need to make a choice. Are we going to help our teens get off the vapes, or are we going to continue to let them vape? Now let's dive into exactly how this became such an issue. In my town, we have this shop in a town called Pevely, where they are commonly known for teenagers, like they sell to teenagers. With this issue, it gives the teenagers a place where they can go buy these vapes rather than saying, no, you need to be 21. Even that law of 21 hasn't stuck around due to parents giving into their teenagers buying vapes. There are parents who say, oh, my teenager could be doing worse things like smoking weed. They're only vaping. Vaping is almost just as bad for your lungs as smoking weed is, as it can cause serious issues like popcorn lung, can cause you to have COPD, and more often than not, COPD is caused by vaping rather than cigarettes and causes it to get worse by vaping rather than smoking a cigarette. The idea of vaping was originally made to get adults or people who are on cigarettes onto this new thing called a vape, or also known as an e-cigarette. The reason they did this was because it's supposed to be lower amounts of nicotine and it should help you damper or get lower than a cigarette. But for teenagers, they go for ones that have 50% nicotine. That is more than a whole pack of cigarettes. Often now, there are teenagers that will use ones that have 75% nicotine or even 100 milligrams of nicotine. That is equivalent to 2 or 3 packs of cigarettes smoked in a day. That is how much a teenager gets in a single puff or hit, as they call them. Now, here's what we can do. We can either continue to help the teenagers get their nicotine and help them be addicted to vaping, or we can say enough's enough. Now let's dive into how we can get to those points. Parents, you play such a huge role in this. You can either choose to be honest with your teenagers about vaping and how bad it is for you, or you can say, oh, my teenager won't do that. My teenager would never pick up a vape. They know it's bad. Wrong. Most often than not, they see it in schools, and so therefore they do it to fit in. There are so many YouTube videos on how vapes work and how many flavors there are, how cool it is. They even have videos showing tricks. There are more videos than I can count. You look it up on YouTube and you'll see a whole couple pages full. Now, parents, one thing I recommend is having an honest, open relationship with your teenager. If you are always honest with them, they will be honest with you about what they are doing and how it is affecting them. When you go and you hide stuff from your teenager, they will hide stuff from you. And also, parents, when it comes to vaping, I recommend that if you find your teenager vaping, don't yell at them. Don't say, oh, I'm going to take A, B, and C. You can't go A, B, and C. When you do that and think, now my teenager won't vape, wrong. Actually, that increases their drive to vape and makes them hide it even more. More often than not, when you see a teenager's room and they are vaping, you will find multiple disposables in their rooms in case their parents find one. Well, they won't find this one in my closet. Oh, they won't find this one under my bed. So instead of having that secret between you two guys, you could have an open relationship. And if your teenager does come to you and say vaping, there are so many resources that you can plug into to get your teen off nicotine. Next, I want to talk about society's label on it. What are we going to do about that? Are we going to sit on our hands and say, oh, there's nothing I can do? Or are we going to take back the ground that society is trying to take? So let's talk about that. There is often advertisements on popular social media apps like TikTok, Facebook, and Snapchat, and sometimes even Instagram, but mainly you see it on TikTok, of all these influencers showing their vape, showing, look at all these cool things I can do, and it's right in front of your teenager's face. Well, they would think, oh, they got famous for reviewing a vape. Well, if I do that, I could be famous too. Now, rather than, I personally think we should get the usage of nicotine banned off of social media. If you are posting that, your account